In this recording, I'd like to talk about text boxes. I find them very, very useful myself. I always kind of picture them as post-it notes that you can stick on your Microsoft Word documents. Some of my documents will actually use them quite a bit. You've seen these before. Actually, if you're new to the class, maybe you want, but that's the wrong file, not the one I wanted. There we go. This is actually a text box with a table inside. You can see the table borders are inside here, but this thing floats around so I could move it, but it allows me to put a table in the upper right hand corner of my form that allows me to quickly enter information for your evaluation sheets. So that's one of the places where I use text boxes. Book gives you some other nice examples. I'm going to be using my Unit 1 sample that we've been using all along. If you haven't started or haven't been following along with the recordings, you should be okay here. You can just kind of slap these text boxes that I'm creating in anywhere. Text boxes come in two flavors. Some are predefined. So I can put in a predefined text box. Microsoft Office has a lot of, Microsoft Word has a lot of these. So under text box, you can see a bunch of different text boxes that are predefined. Now some of these are predefined with placeholders and they're really pretty elaborate, so you have to be a little bit careful. Okay? But there's a lot of ones you can choose from here, and some of these will actually change a little bit depending on the style, the theme that you're using in your document. I'm going to try this Wisp bar. When you put these in, Microsoft Word sticks them in just about anywhere. And the first thing I want to do here, this one's kind of huge. It's taking up my whole page, as you can see. I'm going to change its height to 2 inches. Right now it's about 10.4. But what you have to be careful of with some of these is to make sure that you actually have the entire text box selected and not some of the things inside. This one looks like it's a text box with text boxes inside. Remember from one of the other recordings, in order to select the text box, you have to click on the outside. Notice now I got a border that goes all the way around the outside. Before I had some of the stuff on the inside selected. Change the height to 2 inches. Unlike pictures, these are not aspect ratio connected, so when you change the height, the width doesn't necessarily change, and that's okay with me. I'm going to zoom back in on that. And now this one, because it has so many pieces parts, has shrunk down this title. So I'm going to click on it and stretch it to make it a little taller. Okay. And just like clip art, when we saw we can write or we can wrap tightly, we can wrap top and bottom, we can do all kinds of wrapping. You can do the same thing with text boxes. If you click on the text box itself on the outside, here comes my wrapping symbol. And I can say that I want this square. Tight really doesn't make much sense because most text boxes have some kind of a border around them. I can also wrap top and bottom. The book likes to use this in front of text, and then it puts the text boxes in the margin. It doesn't actually put them in front of text, it puts them in the margin. Not required. I'm going to stick with my square, and I'm going to drag my text box down here below my spring romance paragraph. Oops, a little too far. Now another thing the book doesn't talk about with images and text boxes like this is you can use the arrow keys. As long as the text bar is selected, I'm pressing the down arrow key and it moves it down. And I can move it over a little bit. And I can move it down some more until it starts wrapping the way I want it to. This is doing this about basically 1 pixel at a time. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Let's move it over. There we go. Looks like I lost some stuff in the other column by doing that, so maybe I better pull it back until that other column text comes back. Doesn't want to. Well, just keep going and hope it comes back here pretty soon. There it comes. Okay, so right there, it's causing a little bit of trouble, so I'm just going to leave it there, and these are the kind of things you have to experiment with. I could change the size some more to make it fit in here a little bit better, because maybe its width is a little too much. It's 2.8, but I'm going to leave it. This box does have some placeholders in it. The book has you remove most of the placeholders, but normally you just click on them and then type what you want. And here I'm just going to put the word dot dot dot. Okay, and then I notice there's a statement in here that says, "Are there wedding bells in your future, Ashley?" And instead of having it hidden in a paragraph, I'm going to cut that and paste it into this placeholder. That text is a little small for what I want, so I think I'll highlight it, change its font to 14, and then maybe make its font color, but you get the idea. We can do just about anything we want here. So now I have a text box that's kind of styled sitting down here. Okay. In the second page, I'm just going to move down here because I've got some room. I can draw my own text boxes. Now the book has you do the insert shapes text box. Seems ridiculous because there's a text box button over here. Okay. And if you just click this box, it drops down and you choose draw a text box. I do this so often in my recordings, in my evaluations and in my instructor's notes that I actually have added this to my toolbar, to my quick launch bar up here so I can get to it so quickly. But easy way to do it, click on the text box, click on draw text. Now you little plus sign. You draw a box as big as you want it to be. And now you can play with that and do whatever you want. I could insert, and again, this is just a little mini document. So as I demonstrated at the beginning of the recording, I could insert a table inside my text box. And now I have a table inside my text box, and I can do whatever I want with it. In the drawing tools, I can say to align the text in the middle. So my table shows up in the middle, and I can put some more text up here. I could insert some word art in here. Didn't think about this, but I'm just playing around here. So let's do, that looks pretty cool. Let's put my name in there. So now I've got a text box that's got word art and a table embedded inside. I can put entire paragraphs in here. You can do anything you want to. Right. Remember, if you want to move it, you have to select the outside so you get a nice solid border. I can delete it using that. But now I can move it, and it looks like that looked like it was in the text box. It was not actually in the text box. Let's see if I can put it in the text box. Looks like they're connected somehow. Cut that, come inside the text box, and paste it. And that didn't work. Oh, there they go. Oh, put it in each one of my cells. Okay, I don't want the table above the table. Looks like I can't get above the table. How about below? There we go. And are they attached? Now they're attached, and if I really want that above the table, let's move the table underneath it. Or move this, let's do I can't do a control home. I can try to move the table so that it's down underneath here. I have a little bit of trouble with a little bit of finagling. I'm sure I can get this figured out. And let's click on this guy. Can't wrap inside there, but you get the main idea. Now we've got text box. I'm just experimenting. Most text boxes aren't this complex. They just have some simple text in them. In the book, they steal text from here, steal text from another file, all kinds of things that you can do. A lot of predefined shape styles. So if I wanted to on my text box, I can choose one of these different shape styles with blue borders, right? Or I can fill them. That one has a little 3D lozenge effect to it. Green, that looks pretty good. So a lot of styles here, and again, all of this is customizable. So if I want to go to the shape effects and add some reflection, I can add some reflection. All of this is customizable, and you can create some pretty impressive looking text boxes. Then you can put them in your document wherever you need them to be. So I hope that helps get you a handle on text boxes. Remember, they are documents, and you can do just about anything inside of a text box that you can do to a document, including changing the margins of my table and entering text in the table, doing whatever I need to inside of that text box. So it's a little mini document inside a document. I mentioned that you can use them as post-it notes if you want to, so let me just do one more here since I'm on a roll. Add another text box by drawing it, put it in here, and I'm going to change the background color to yellow. There isn't one. See if there's any other options here. No, not too good. So I'm just going to change the fill color, that's this one, to yellow. Now I've got a post-it note, and if I add a shadow to that, then it looks like the post-it note's actually stuck on top of mine. Be nice if it stuck out a little bit more. You can do that, kind of getting out of control here. But if I go back to the shape effects shadow and do shadow options, then I can bring the distance out a little bit more and make it a little bit more of a shadow. So let's bump it up, and you can see the bigger the shadow, the more it looks like it's sitting out from the page. And so here's my post-it note. Don't forget to post this video. Anything you want inside of that text box. And this, if you put it on top of text, which seems to be where it started. And I can cut this. If I go up to my document and just click up here someplace and paste, it sits on top of my text. I can also put it behind the text. I can also wrap it, but if it's just a note to myself, instead of using the review comments that you learned about in beginning Word, instead of using review comments, you can just write little notes and post-its, and then when people are done with it, they can click on it and delete it, and it's gone. Hope that helps.